Welcome everybody to day 24 of the Great Reset. This is the deep dive into probably the three biggest categories of pharmaceuticals, which is your NSAIDs, your antibiotics, and hormones. Don't get me started as I sit here in a hot flash.
So NSAIDs, what the heck are NSAIDs?
It's anti-inflammatories that are not in the category of steroids.
Okay.
Okay, so it's everything like ibuprofen, everything that ends in
Aspirins.
I'm going to say the funniest thing about ibuprofen. I went to write a blog one time and I wanted to prove, because we did reduce the C-reactive protein by fascia blasting in the blood. Okay, so that means that inflammation came down. And I wanted to be able to say, we do it 3 times better than ibuprofen or something like that. I dove into the literature and guess what? The anti-inflammatory ibuprofen doesn't reduce the C-reactive protein.
because what it does is that it doesn't create or changes a biochemistry, so you don't feel the pain, but that doesn't.
Isn't that crazy? Because everybody really believes that if you take an ibuprofen, that you're reducing inflammation. You're literally not. You're better off fascia blasting. Also, like just opening the book to 299 and glancing at it, there was a study published in the Scandinavian Journal that said that NSAID users were hospitalized 6 times more than non-users. In another study in Archives of Internal Medicine, patients taking NSAIDs were 4 to 7 times more likely to suffer a kidney failure. In physiological behavior, it interfered with the melatonin production with a 75% nighttime reduction, which we all know melatonin is not just to make us sleep. And then in the Lancet, it showed that aspirin in any form, such as buffered or coated or whatever, causes gastrointestinal bleeding. And I just, where my heart just goes, ugh, is my entire childhood was spent on NSAIDs. And then now for our older generation, it is the thing that we are given anytime. Just take a little anti-inflammatory, rest it, ice it, and you're good.
Wow.
And I think the problem is exactly that, is that we don't have the awareness that has a lot of secondary effects, that it doesn't really address the problem. And we are so used to in our Western society that every time you feel pain here, pain there, whatever type of pain, what you do is you go and you take a pill so you can forget about it and move on with your day, instead of really addressing the root cause and understanding, okay, what's happening and what other things I can do in my lifestyle or change my choices or my habits, so I don't have to go in this pathway of taking painkillers. And it is also known that the painkillers, they don't also avoid you feeling pain in your body, they also numb you emotionally. So you're really unable to be empathic or empathetic with other people, because it also affects the perception of emotions and of the world. Imagine how many times you just drink a pill and then you can even connect properly with anybody else because your empathy levels are down as well.
What about antibiotics? I know, wow, I have had such a shift personally with antibiotics, because the typical mindset, and I'm as guilty as anyone, is like, but if I have a bacteria, I need to kill it, kind of a thing. Can you believe I was actually given high-level antibiotics to kill my candida, which candida, for anybody who doesn't know, is an overgrowth of bacteria. The long story short is antibiotics, yes, there are occasions where people need to take them, but they completely screw up your microbiome. So you would have to have a full-on plan to clean it out and to repopulate it with the proper gut bacteria.
In the book, again, recommending get the book and read it. They talk about the kid who was on antibiotics because of acne for I don't know how many years. I don't remember the exact, but there's so many years this kid every single day taking antibiotics for acne. And then he was in college and like he had like a complete breakdown, like it was crazy. So
well, microbiome's second brain. It may even be the most important brain. It's depending if we ask Dr. Lipton or
and where our immune system is, really. That's the strongest part of our immune system. And we're killing it.
Yeah, we're absolutely killing it. And then the last is hormones.
Hormones.
Hormones, we will address the same thing as lifestyle choices. How many of you are eating or consuming things that are actually creating the hormonal disbalance in the first place? I would say milk would be one of the most important ones. Again, one of the horsemen here.
One of the four horsemen.
It's a liquid full of hormones. I mean, it's a lactating mother. What do you expect? Like,
Isn't
and
that
if you,
crazy? We just don't think like that. So I love everything that we've been talking about because it's just a little mental shift. And I swear with a little mental shift, I'm not saying that you're not going to take antibiotics or everybody's going to go snatch their IUDs out or anything like that. But just being able to take a breath and choose something different or look for a different pathway, because I think we're just so conditioned as a society to just do it. I know for me, I have a doctor who I love and trust, and I was telling him I was struggling with the weight and it was so weird how I was getting bloated, and he had helped me with candida and whatever else was going on in the microbiome. I told him, I said, I'm really looking forward to losing weight. And I meant through all the natural processes of getting this fixed. And he said, well, you know, if your hormones are off, you're never going to lose weight. And I know other women are being told, well, women and men. So then we go jacking with the hormones,
Yeah.
which, you know, sets off a chain reaction. So for me right now, I'm suffering through, I decided not to do hormones. I don't have any birth control, all of that. So like, I'm having the hot flashes of an old woman and taking copious amounts of ashwagandha and things. It really is the awareness I got from this book about it that I said, you know what, I'm just going to go totally clean, because if you don't go totally clean, you don't know. You cannot answer the question, could I be better, until you clean it up across the board, everything.
There it is.
In your face. All
There's
right.
the mic drop statement right there.
so pretty much what to do is just lifestyle changes. Like that's the foundation of everything that we're saying, like changes that you can do, or how am I gonna get rid of this medication or this one, or I don't want, okay, just go and
One
start.
by one. Yep. One by one. Because when people think of lifestyle, they're like, oh, well, I stopped eating fried foods. And it's like, okay, that's one good step. All right, what's next? We can't make little changes if we truly want to be healthy.